There was rumors that there would be tracks possibly present. They were only about 2 inches under the asphalt, so as soon as we cut into it, we felt the saw hit something very dense and knew immediately what it was.
Hi, I'm content producer Michael Barrett, and if you know anything about the history of Concord, you've probably heard rumors that century-old remnants of a bygone form of transportation were still concealed beneath the modern-day streets. Well, during a routine sewer line repair job, city workers recently put eyes on trolley tracks that haven't seen the light of day in decades. Caleb Smith has been a technical equipment operator for Concord's wastewater department for 5 years. He's among the local residents who have long suspected a hidden relic was lying beneath the downtown thoroughfares.
My grandma actually worked in Lot Mill briefly back in the 60s, so I've heard her talk about it right when the depot was dissolved. A lot of people were brought up from the depot, what is now the Amtrak, at the lower section of town, and the trolley came from west to east, so it brought in a lot of employees into various mills, but she never actually had to ride the tracks. She just discussed people would take the trolley. The whole trolley system was built because the horse and buggies was getting too inconvenient and couldn't actually pull the people up the grade in order to be able to get to town.
Years after steam railroad tracks were first laid in Concord in 1889, the North Carolina Public Service Company laid trolley tracks downtown and began offering the trolley service in 1911, as they also did in neighboring cities like Salisbury and High Point. The battery-operated streetcars they used were made by Edison Electric Company, according to NCpedia.com. By 1925, declines in ridership and income led to the trolley service ending, and the tracks became somewhat obsolete. Smith and his crew were doing a nighttime sewer line repair for a resident when they made the discovery under Cabarrus Avenue, which was known as Depot Street prior to the 1960s.
We started by cutting the road. We got right to the middle of the road, and the saw kind of hit what seemed to be a really hard object. We moved just past that, about 4 more feet, hit another really hard object, and we knew immediately it had to be the trolley tracks. We were not that shocked, but we were definitely caught off guard that our night just got significantly longer. Being they're historical, we had to take extra care to make sure not to damage them. It was admittedly a new obstacle, but one they took in stride. We deal with a lot of underground utilities pretty often. The only complication is the fact that the tracks are laid in about 18 inches of concrete. So it took 2 additional pieces of equipment that we don't normally use in order to get across the street to do the repair. But it didn't hinder our work. It just added a little time to what we were already going to do. Despite the hurdle the tracks provided, it made for a memorable evening. Definitely one of the coolest discoveries, being that we work in wastewater. There's not a lot of excitement in what we do, but there's a lot of obstacles that we run into that most don't, because our utilities are some of the deepest and oldest in the city. For Neighborhood TV, I'm Michael Barrett.